I'm about to start my vineyard ramble on this Friday morning. As you can see, it's not raining, so that's the good news. Bad news is it's still very cloudy and there's more rain forecast, and it's very warm. So unfortunately, the weather it's better, but it's very muggy. So it's about 14-15 degrees. It's cloudy, it's wet. And so that's perfect for mildew. So not great times. We're basically challenged to get into the vines to be able to protect them before it rains. And I think we're going to discuss that on Monday. So I'm going to do a special mildew on Monday for you. But I've got something, just show you where we are. So this is the little vineyard, a new vineyard you haven't seen before, 70 years old. We've got the Tosh Mountain comes up here behind us. The birds are lovely this morning, and then we've got Touchon behind that olive tree there. And if I pan round, we've got the Aguila Castle here, and over those cliffs behind the lovely Broome that we've got here is the Mediterranean and the Roussillon in that direction. So just to locate you, actually in the plain, you can see it's quite flat here, and you can also see that we've had a bit of water. So I just want to introduce the topic that we're going to be talking about on Monday, because I've brought you into, it's actually probably one of our worst vines here, but just to show you the waterlog problem. So this is said it's 1/4 hectare. It's planted with, and I think you can tell me, it's actually most of the grapes that we've had. So look at this leaf here. That one is a little one, this one here. So waxy on the top, nice and round, not that indented. The lobes don't go that far in, almost a circle. So I hope you'll recognise those. Look at these grapes, lovely grapes. So this is a little vineyard. It's actually planted with lots of different grape varieties, planted 70 years ago. Anybody got that grape that I just showed? But this is what I wanted to show you, okay? So this is actually the worst vineyard with the rain. But if you can see here, oh yeah, Diane says, we missed Diane. Hi, Diane. If you look here at the water, how waterlogged this vine is, there is absolutely no way that we're going to get the tractor in here at all. And you can't even, I tried to walk on it and I sank. So, woo! Like, this is, you know, even doing this with a backpack, got my boots, so is going to be pretty difficult. And that's the stress that we're under at the moment. It's like, it's terrible, because you'll go out, you'll have little windows when you can actually get out there and you can actually protect the vines. We're protecting mainly from mildew, so that you have little windows when it's not raining or it's not too windy, but we've got 14 hectares, so we have to go out, do as many as we can, protect it. Then it starts raining again and it washes it all off. So it washes it off, the vines aren't protected, so you're waiting for the next window when you can go out and actually protect the vines. And we've never had this before in Touchon. It's really a very difficult spring growing season here. Gonna get in the mud. It's very unusual. We calculated the rainfall this year. We've had 500 millimeters since the beginning of the year. Our annual rainfall is normally 600. So that shows you. And then thinking, Roger told me to keep standing on the side, don't go on the passageways. And look at that. And it's just, as I say, this is our worst vineyard, but it's really just to show you there's no way we can get into this vineyard to protect the vines. So we are just crossing our fingers that we don't get an outbreak of mildew. Mildew, it will destroy your crop if you get it and you can't control it by protecting the vines. Then it just dries. In the end, it dries the stems to the bunches, the little tiny lovely bunches, and those bunches fall off. And there's actually areas in the region that have been declared almost a disaster zone. There's like vineyards that are just completely destroyed by mildew already. So that's the end of that growing season for them. So we're just really hoping, crossing our fingers, that we don't get an attack of mildew. It's a mildew's a fungal disease, and it spreads like wildfire. That's the problem. So when you've got it, you need to get out, protect everything as much as you can. You can't cure it. We can't cure it because we're organic, so we can only use sulfur, copper, and fruit pectins to strengthen those vines, to really help our lovely little vines fight against the fungal disease, which is mildew. So we're going to have more on that on Monday. We're showing you what we can do, how we can get rid of it, and if we've had any outbreaks. From a very wet Touchon, this is me saying thank you for joining the ramble, and I'll just now look at your questions. Oh, great. So here's one from Hamish. Thanks very much for this. Hamish in Newcastle says, seen a bit of standing water over the past few days. How long does it take the soil to dry out? In actual fact, if it was windy, that's why we need the north wind. If the wind blew now, this could dry out within a couple of days. This could be dry enough for us to get in on foot in this particular vineyard and other vineyards. We only need a couple of days of dry wind and no rain for the soils to dry out. Our vineyards are really scattered around, so we do have the choice to go. We have some vineyards which are drier than others, so we can actually get into other vineyards. They're not all down here. This, as I said, is one that is particularly bad. Just look at this. So, but once the north wind blows and the sun comes back, it's going to be a couple of days to dry those out so we can actually get in and protect the vines. That's our main preoccupation at the moment. Thanks for that, Hamish. A question here, as we're organic, this is what we can use: sulfur, copper and the pectin solution to actually protect the vines. I've been asked, is it expensive? I don't know the precise price of what we use, but I do know that we are having to go in and protect the vines as many times as we can, so really regularly. So obviously having to go in almost every week if we can make it to protect the vines, it does have a big additional cost. It's labour, it's the products, time. So yes, it is going to be an expensive growing season, but don't worry, I try not to put the price of the wines up. Thanks for that question. Oh yes, thanks for reminding me on this one. I got so carried away in the vine and the water. Forgot to say it was actually a Grenache leaf. The one that I showed you earlier on was a Grenache. And then if we look here, as I missed that one, let's have another go. This is a different grape variety. Here, so you can see big lobes almost into the centre of the leaf, crinkly on the top. See that? Turn over and little hairs. So big lobes, 5 distinct lobes, crinkly on the top. So that's another one for you to guess, and I'll remember to look for the answer. Thanks for reminding me on that one. And these are similar questions. This one was asked by Liam, but Pauline also asked the same question. Is that Carignan? Yeah, well done. There's Maxime, Sipping Point, just for those, may have been somebody before, and Nikki as well. This is Carignan, so this is a co-planted vine. Is it worse because it's on the plain? Yes, definitely. So this water, you can see like how we're right down on the flat and it's on the plain. So you can see here, it does collect the water, so it is much worse. Our hillside vineyards are much drier, so they're down, the water drains off them much quicker and much more easily. So this is a bit of an extreme vineyard down here. Pauline said, can't you pump it away? No, I'm not quite sure how we would pump it away. Yeah, we could get a pump out, but I just don't think that would be a practical solution. Is there anything you can do to prevent mildew? So I'm just going to finish on this question today. We can only prevent mildew. So yes, we're using a copper and a sulfur solution with some fruit pectins. We're organic, so we can only prevent it. That means that what we put on, this spray, it settles on the leaves, so it's only the leaves that have it on that are protected against the spread of mildew. So that means that when it rains, as soon as it rains and washes it off, if that gets washed off, the vines are unprotected. And as you can see, the leaves are getting quite big now. So that means if you spray and you've got one underneath that doesn't get any of the copper and the sulfur and the fruit pectins on it, then underneath these are going to be unprotected. So that's another, that's another problem we've got to face, is how, trying to protect all the leaves as much as possible and these new shoots here. So it's growing, it's 15 degrees, it's hot, it's muggy, it's prime weather for fungal disease, but also for the vine growing. So as soon as the vine grows, the new shoots are unprotected, so we have to get back out and try and spray. We can't get back out because the vines are waterlogged. We've never seen it before. As I said, we've had 500 millimetres of rain since the beginning of the year. Annual rainfall is normally 600. It's difficult, really difficult, and just waiting to see if we get an outburst of mildew or not. Mildew can absolutely devastate a crop. So we'll have a more in-depth look at mildew and the diseases on Monday, but I'm signing off. I'd just like to say thank you so much to everybody for joining in. I'm so glad that you've been able to join me. It has been a difficult week. It's been wet, it's been raining. I want to bring you sunshine, but it's not all sunshine down here in the vineyards of Domaine Jones. So you've got the real life, day-to-day journey of what we're going through. So thanks ever such a lot. I know Jean-Marc also needs your hugs and kisses. He's getting more depressed as the days go on because there's just no sign to the end of the rain at the moment. We've got another wet weekend coming up, so please, thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved talking to you this morning. It's the highlight of my day.